Title: Town of Existence. Written by for Dazai. Dazai Osamu thinks. He thinks a lot. He thinks to the point where his brain itches. His face feels hot. His throat begins to dry. He often finds his fingernails between his teeth. He finds himself gnawing away until his cuticles are destroyed and the look of them is no longer smooth and unbothered. He even debates on wearing gloves like Chuya does. But he knows a part of him will remember that Mori also wears gloves, and he definitely does not want to remember that. 2 days. 2 days, I won't bite my nails, he says. What a load of bullshit. He doesn't bite for 2 days. His skin cells have regenerated. Finally, he can breathe. But all the progress goes down the drain when his brain begins to think again. His brain begins to rot once again. His head will not give him a rest. Once again, he finds himself pulling at his hair, tugging at his ears, all because of one thought, all because of the fear of not being 5 steps ahead, all because of the fear of not being prepared for any storm that could hit his way. Dazai Osamu disappears. It's quiet. It's subtle. No one notices, except maybe you, he thinks. He perfectly planned his disappearance. First, he'll solve a few cases at the agency, brush them off like they're no big deal, piece of cake. He'll even do some half-assed reports so Kunikita won't bug him. He'll stock up on bandages from Yusano. He'll give Ranpo some candy. He'll give Kenji and Kyoka piggyback rides. He'll ruffle Atsushi's hair and make sure to pat him on the back. He'll leave them with a smile on his face, just so they won't worry. And it works. None of them worry. None of them. Except you. Lastly, right before walking out the door, he'll look at you. Right before walking out in the bitter night, he'll pause. He'll wait for a few seconds right at the doorway. He'll turn his head ever so slightly, just to get a glance at you. He'll make eye contact and smile. Oh, that fucking smile, you think. And you'll smile back. Just an everlasting, fleeting moment between the two of you. Something genuine. He'll smile, sometimes wave his fingers, but you notice his disappearance. His coat is hanging on his arm. His feet feel heavy. His hair hasn't been cleaned in a while. He slouches every time he walks, as if remembering every single moment that has happened to him in the last 22 years. And just like that, the moment is over. He'll wink, then simply leave you with a soft smile on his face, leaving you to wonder where the hell he'll be going this time. Dazai Osamu is tired. He is tired of wanting to leave but not wanting to be alive. He is tired of wanting an escape. He is tired of feeling trapped, bored and claustrophobic. He is tired of knowing there is so much to see and so much to do, but finding himself doing nothing at all. He is tired of seeing himself from outside of his body, looking down at himself in this metaphorical bubble that he has created. He is tired of not knowing what the hell he is doing or how to get out of it. Dazai Osamu comes back. He always does. He has no choice. He walks into the agency, sauntering through the doors with a huge smile on his face. Kunikita will yell at him for being a nuisance. Yusano will scold him for not fixing his hair. Atsushi will roll his eyes at the sight of him, spinning around in his chair. He has perfected his clown act to fool everyone. Everyone. But you. You notice the smell of liquor surrounding his body. You notice the hints of red brimmed around his eyes. You notice the redness on his knuckles. You notice how his shirt hasn't been ironed in weeks. You notice the way he tilts his head back and closes his eyes when no one is looking. You notice the little breath that skips his lips when someone asks where he had disappeared off to. Dazai Osamu feels odd. He thinks he is disappearing and no one is noticing. And he's fine with it. He doesn't want anyone to notice. He doesn't want to be a bother. He feels out of place, although that isn't a new thing. It's almost like someone has taken a paintbrush and blurred out his face, so that only his body is the only thing people see. He feels like he's not really there. He has to sometimes remind himself that he exists. I exist. I exist. I exist. I exist. I exist. Every time he closes his eyes, his mind forces him to remember blood. All the blood he's spilled in his lifetime. But most importantly, his blood. Odasaku's blood on his hands. His limp body in Dazai's thin arms. His brain feels like static. Dazai had remembered his arms aching. Holding up Odasaku while he was losing his last breath had hurt his arms. That was all. It was that simple. He didn't remember much, yet remembered every detail. Dazai Osamu thinks you were strange. After he walks through the agency's doors from his day's worth of disappearance, you are there to greet him, but it's different from the others' greeting. You smile, move closer, and tilt your head. I'm glad you're okay, Dazai. You smile. Hand him a kid's juice box and pat his head. He likes head pats. More specifically, your head pats. He likes the way your fingers tickle his hair. He likes the way your eyes crinkle and the smile on your face. For a moment, an image of him laying his head on your lap while your fingers weave through his hair flashes across his mind. He blinks a few times. He catches himself blushing. What's wrong, Dazai? You look a bit red. Do you have a fever? You'll ask, gently touching his forehead with the back of your hand. But he notices how you softly moved away his bangs. It tickles. He has to hold in a giggle, and he definitely noticed your hand on his shoulder. He silently prays you'll stop touching him, or else he'll get attached. Sometimes he let himself believe that you don't just look at him, like you can really see him, the him under the million of layers that are not him. Dazai Osamu likes the stars. He especially likes laying on the floor in the middle of nowhere and looking up at the night sky. He often does it at the agency's rooftop, especially when it is snowing. He likes the soft cushion of snow provides when he plops down on the ground. It doesn't matter that his coat will get wet or his hair will feel weird. It doesn't matter that his neck will freeze and his hands will feel like icicles. It doesn't matter that he will start sneezing and his nose will become red and runny within the minutes of going back inside. It doesn't matter if Kunikida will get at him for being an idiot and Atsushi will throw a box of tissues on his lap. It doesn't matter. None of that matters because it is all worth it when he sees you walk through the doors of the roof. His eyes open a little to peek out at your figure making its way to him. He waits for you to say something. He waits for you to scold or nag at him to get out of the snow. But to his surprise, you do the complete and utter opposite. This is nice, you simply say, laying down on the snowy floor next to him. Your hands are folded on your stomach, your eyes are closed. He tilts his head to look at your face. It is completely still, completely quiet. You look absolutely beautiful. He turns back forward to meet the cloudy night sky. Time just stopped, you say. What was that? He questions back, even though he heard every word you said. You ever so slightly move your head so that it is touching his shoulder. You smile. Time just stopped. For you and me. He blinks. He is a little confused. But time stops for no one. You chuckle, now completely making your head touch his shoulder. He doesn't complain, not even in his mind. He likes the feeling of your warmth on him while he lays on the cold icy floor. You smile, brushing your hands against his. Well, time stopped for us.